How do I, is this turning on? Oh, I think I just clicked. Did I click something or does it? Testing, testing. Okay. Hello, everybody. Yay! Thank you. As always, life is an adventure. And welcome today. For those of you who don't already know me, my name is Alexandra Gale. I'm what's known in Unity circles as a licensed Unity teacher, which some people who, even if you're familiar with Unity, will say, huh, what's that? And I like to say it's sort of like doctors, where they each have their own specialty. So a minister is one specialty, and a licensed Unity teacher is a different specialty. And my training was in adult education. For a number of years, I taught classes, Unity, some here, some other places. And now I'm what I like to call a lady of leisure. And I am very mindful when Spirit says it's time, and I'm going to use a biblical reference here, to take the bushel off your lamp and shine your light. And I went, I think that means that I, thank you. I think that means that I'm meant to do a talk here today. As it turns out, Spirit also, unbeknownst to me, had other plans besides me giving a talk, and that is stepping in as platform today. And again, for those of you who know me, been there, done that. So I'm going to be sharing the same information that Reverend Rona would normally share as we begin our service today. So I'm going to welcome everybody and say, so glad to have you here. And if you are new, welcome, a special welcome, especially for those people who are online. You'll find information about Unity in your welcome packet. So if you haven't received one, our ushers can get that for you. So ushers today are, do we have Purdy? Okay, at the back. So you can, and Allison as well. And you can ask them for the welcome packet if you didn't already receive one. The Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And we honor that there is universal wisdom in faith traditions all over the world. We respect each person's right to follow their own life path, their own spiritual path. All are welcome, all are worthy, all are celebrated here. Let's take this time to begin by acknowledging with gratitude that we are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nations peoples everywhere for their custody of this beautiful land on which we live, we work, and we play. And if you attended the service last week, if you were privileged to attend, we had a chance to meet Chief Larrabee. Yeah, I'm seeing Ronnie shaking his head going, wow. Chief Larrabee and Chief Joseph. And I think as you hear this recognition of our indigenous peoples, that it has a new meaning for you. And if you weren't able to attend in person, I invite you to check it out online on YouTube as well. Very special. And we now begin with affirmative prayer. So I invite you just to take that moment, just to turn within. Just take time to appreciate that we are grateful to be here together in our community of joy, to sing together, laugh together, be inspired by ideas for wholehearted living, and to connect and love one another. Many names and paths lead to the one presence and one power that we call God. That power is the creating, attracting, and unifying force of love. That love energy which surrounds us, which lies within us, which expresses as us, through us, and in which we live and move and have our being. In this energy, and as this energy, we are all one. And from this oneness, we send a blessing of unconditional love, peace, and abundant joy to all beings everywhere. We are so grateful, and so it is. Amen. Now, we do have an opening song. I'm not sure in what order we're going to be doing things today. I have this magic button thing here. So I'm going to push it, and it may work. And if it does, yay. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out a way to make it work. So, name of the talk, yep. I have to say 2 things about this. That I did not model for that. That's not me with the Canadian flag on my shoulders. And the me, it's not just me. We'll talk about that later. All right, now we get a chance. I invite you to stand if you are able to sing our opening song, Higher Place.
Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more forward, no more backward, no more spinning around and around. My life is moving ever upward. My feet are leaving the ground. Ooh, up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. No more downward, no more darkness, no more wondering the point of it all. My life is destined, oh, for greatness. My soul has answered the call. Up, up, up to a higher place. Up, 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 far beyond this time and space. Up, up, up to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. Higher place, higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place. I feel my soul rising to a higher place.
Woo. And I invite you to have a seat now that we're from within, rising higher. We're privileged today to have someone new who's going to be reading our daily word. So I'm going to invite Nellie to come up and share that with us today. There's Nellie.
Hi, everybody. This is my first time doing platform, so it's very exciting. The theme for today's daily word is world peace. Affirming the divinity of all world's people, I envision world peace. Peace is meant for every person of every faith in every land. Today I look beyond the news of the world, reports of strife and conflict, even the agitation and unforgiveness in my own heart, and find the peace of God. I believe the desire for lasting peace is within each person's heart. In prayer, I affirm the truth and envision this desire growing stronger among the world's people until peace can no longer be denied. It is our shared destiny to live in peace. When each person wants for all people what they want for themselves, harmony will blanket the earth. I affirm the peace I wish for myself is dawning in the hearts of others. In prayer, I see them safe and secure in the hearts of God, forever at peace. This daily word is inspired by the second book of the Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 16. Now may the Lord of peace himself give you peace at all times in all ways. The Lord be with all of you.
Thank you, Nellie. Thank you. I think she's probably going to be back. I can tell. Yes, there, yep. Thank you for that affirmation. Yes. So part of what the platform person does is introduce the speaker. That I can check that one off. So what I'm going to do is, if you're willing, first of all, I guess I should mention, in case you hadn't noticed, we don't have a musician today. Being the long weekend, I spoke with Rona, and we agreed we would just go back to the old format. Some of you might have remembered from COVID times, where we played videos for our music. And so we're going to have a little bit of that today, and the musicians will be back next week for sure. So thank you for going with the flow on that. And it is a holiday weekend, so maybe, they're appreciating the time off. Okay, so today we are going to be changing things up a little. Surprise, surprise again for those of you who know me. Yeah, we're going to do the meditation after the talk. So I will do the talk, and then we'll take a brief time just to let the message go in a deeper level in our consciousness. So I'm inviting you to be flexible, to go with the flow, and be okay with things when they're a little bit different. Okay, that's part of what we do in Unity, right? Yeah, I'm seeing some nods there. So in recognition of Canada Day, I'm going to invite you, if you are able and willing, to stand up. So we are going to start by hearing our national anthem, and you're invited to sing along with the video if you so choose. Oh, thank you for watching. All right, I invite you to sit down again. Oh, You just wait, there's another hockey reference coming. Spoiler alert. So, I want to start by saying, when Reverend Rona asked me to speak today, being that it was Canada Day weekend, I felt a bit conflicted. I feel blessed to live in Canada and to be a Canadian. I'll start that right now, I'll state that. However, I am deeply saddened by the treatment of our Indigenous peoples and the abuse that they have suffered and continue to this day to suffer, many of them. And if you attended, as I mentioned before, watched Chief Larrabee and Chief Joseph speak last Sunday, you may have a deeper understanding of the trauma that Indigenous peoples in Canada have endured. Reverend Rona and I met for coffee a couple of weeks ago. She shared with me that she's now a big fan of Formula One racing. Okay, ministers can be cool, right? So you might want to discuss that with her when she's back. And I did have permission to share that with her, with you, that her new hobby, watching Formula One racing. And we were discussing my talk and the fact that it was going to be on Canada Day weekend. And she shared when she watches the races in other countries, she's noticed a very homogeneous crowd. When she sees crowds, as she mentioned, Australia, Japan, she notices, however, in Canada that there's a diverse audience reflecting our diverse population. And we agreed that when it comes to thinking about Canada and Canada Day, that it's a both-and scenario. So we have both shameful history that requires much healing. There's a need for the healing. And yet, Canada is a very special place because we in Canada open our arms to welcome the diverse people around the world. People that have horrific things happening in their own countries, and they come to Canada to be safe. So when we think about Canada Day and should we celebrate, how do we celebrate, I invite you to consider that it is a both and. Not to mention that for many people, Canada Day is a holiday, so everybody can celebrate taking a day off work. Now, let's start with Canada. The title is Canada and Me. All right, so Canada. There are some things that reflect who Canadians are in the world. Apparently, we say a lot. We even say it when we spell the name of our country. C-A-N-A-D-A. And you know you're from Canada when you know exactly where you were when Sidney Crosby scored the golden goal at the Vancouver Olympics in 2010. Anybody? I know. Yep. You know, watch the game, overtime. Oh my goodness. Yep. So that I definitely remember that. Did you know that we have a national board game? It's called Sorry. And you might need a moment with this one. How do you get a Canadian to apologize? Step on their foot. Yeah, okay, yeah. Been there, done that. Oh. And although there are many common themes to being a Canadian, it means different things to different people. We know that just in the world there are disagreements about how the country should be run. There are concerns here about climate, the environment, justice, fair treatment of our citizens. And the list goes on and on. All the differences. Although the creation of our country was formed in the midst of the shameful treatment of Indigenous people, We have grown into a country that is generally recognized throughout the world as a peace-loving nation, leading the way. Again, a refuge for all the people fleeing war and abuse in their home countries, because here they can experience greater safety and have a chance for a better life. As wonderful as it is that Canada is a safe haven, I learned last week that when new citizens are sworn in Canada, there are no Indigenous representatives among the dignitaries welcoming the new citizens. And to me, that is a huge travesty. It's like the first people to be in this land, if anybody should be welcoming newcomers to Canada, to me, Indigenous people not only have the right, they are the ones to say, yeah, it's okay if you come and join us. So there still is a lot of work to be done. Chief Joseph, that I'm referring to again, shared last week that as Canada has begun the path to reconciliation, it can be a model for the world. He seemed hopeful that as we recognize we are all one, that was his book title, by the way, and act from this awareness, the world can be healed. He equated reconciliation with love. By recognizing our shared humanity, the world can come together in peace and love. However, I think everybody will agree there's still a lot of work to be done. So that's a little about Canada. Now, where does the me come in? Well, the me is actually you as well. We're constantly drawn into the outer world. What's happening in our community, our province, our country, the world, our neighborhood, you name it. The outer world demands our attention. And sometimes we may feel powerless when we face all of that stuff. The wars, the atrocities, natural disasters, climate change, you name it. Anybody who turns on the TV can see anything that's, you want to see something wrong with the world, just turn on the TV and watch the news. It's right there. However, I think we might forget that we have a power within us. That power within us, each one of us, to make a change so that the world might show up a little differently. And what's involved in that is releasing patterns of the past, such as shameful atrocities that happened to Indigenous people, and opening up to a new way of being, a new life. And in Unity, we call this power within each one of us, the Christ consciousness, also known as the higher self, and there are many names for it, the divine self. In 1990, Connie Fillmore Bazzi, great-granddaughter of Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, our co-founders, wrote an article, and it condensed 5 Unity teachings, which became known as the 5 Principles of Unity. And the essential points were: God is one power, one presence. I am an individualized expression of that God, by whatever name you choose to call the one power and presence. Next came I think and I feel, and I'm adding I feel, and I'll talk a bit about that, to create my experiences. I am a creator. I pray, affirmative prayer, affirming the truth, not beseeching, not begging, please, make it better, affirming that there is within me the power to make a change. And I live the truth I know. I do my best to live the truth. Now, this 3rd principle is based on the adage, which I know a lot of you have heard: thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, is one way of saying it. And this means that our experiences in life are determined by our repeated thought patterns together with feelings. Unity of Vancouver Island states it like this. Whoops. And, okay, let's try it again. Canada, me. There we go. Thoughts have creative power to determine events and attract experiences. Our thoughts and feelings combined have great creative power. We are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. You will know that I'm sharing that if you go online and try and find out what the principles of unity are, the 5 principles, there's many variations. The message is still the same. The words will change. And I chose this one. For one thing, it's one of our neighboring Unity ministries, because it has the word feelings in it. Because a lot of times it just stops at the word thought, thoughts held in mind. And in order to be creative, we add in the feelings. The other thing I want to mention about this is the idea of being a co-creator. I've learned through my own spiritual path a different understanding of creating with God. And the reason being is if there is only one power, one presence, and I am an individualized expression of that, I am that one power and presence as I'm showing up here, then there can't be God and me. Canada and me? Yes, God and me. Because if we do believe in oneness, it's the same. And the way I like to think of it is through our conscious mind, we tap into our higher self, our higher power. And by doing so, we tap into the creative ideas in God mind that we can manifest in our lives. So it's not me and God. It's me as God expressing. And the other thing, too, I just want to mention is that this is a case of consistently focusing thoughts and feelings, and they manifesting as experiences. And I'm going to add here, not conditions. Because sometimes people will say, there's a person with an illness. What were they thinking and feeling to create that illness? In Unity terms, we call that spiritual malpractice. We're talking about not creating conditions. We're talking about our experience of the events in our life that show up. And we do accept responsibility for our thoughts and feelings. However, we never take blame or shame as the divine beings that we are. And let's remember that not all thoughts and feelings are creative. Is there anybody who's thought something and went, oh my gosh, why did I think that? Can't. In Unity terms, we used to say cancel, and we do this kind of thing for the old timers here. Cancel, no. And that's because not everything is going to create some outer experience for us. And usually it is something that's repeated and focused on, dwelled on, maybe obsessed about sometimes. In her book, 5 Principles, if you ever want to read it, Reverend Ellen Davenport says, our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, so she's even adding beliefs in this, have the power to create our reality. And again, when she says reality, she means our experience, how we are interpreting those things that are happening in our life. Myrtle, our beloved co-founder, Myrtle Fillmore, says, keep your thoughts free from worry. Keep them on matters close at hand, on God's presence and power. And again, I'll add that power within you. And I'll talk a minute about whether how we can manage to do that, because that might seem like a big task. I don't know about you, but yeah. And Charles, we can't forget Charles, our other co-founder, and I had to put this one in on purpose. Every man is king in his own mental domain, and his subjects are his thoughts. Charles was writing this stuff in the 1800s. Things were different back then. Language was different back then. No female in there, no she, not even an it. And so I'm going to invite you to consider these words reinterpreted, because I firmly believe this is what Charles believed. Every person is master in their mental and emotional domain, and their subjects are their thoughts and feelings. And that's the part of the me today for our Canada Day message. For example, if someone has a health challenge, they can choose to continually focus on illness. This reinforces our experience of illness. If we, through the power of our thoughts and feelings, focus on the truth, however, that we are spiritual beings, whole, perfect, it is possible to go through a health challenge with a new positive outlook on life and have a different experience. I've heard stories of people and known people who have a diagnosis of terminal cancer, who radiate joy and see life in a new way as they prepare to make a peaceful transition, leaving this earth. For others, by holding thoughts and feelings of the truth, affirmative prayer, stating the truth, wholeness is our nature. Someone with a health challenge can experience a complete healing. And I'm pretty sure people here have both those experiences, known people that have left in a state of peace, regardless of what the body had going on within it, and people who have had complete healings and gone on to live many, many years after a diagnosis saying, that's it, you're done. So there is a power within us. And we have the power to shape our lives by the power of our thoughts and feelings. And sometimes we might find that a little bit scary. There's a saying by William Johnson, I believe he wrote a book, if it's up to me, if it is to be, it's up to me. And taking that as a responsibility is like, that could be a little daunting, I think. Yeah. However, in my understanding, that is the truth. We can make a difference in our lives. So is there something, I'm asking you, that you might like to change, something you'd like to experience differently in your life? Something may come to mind, maybe not. You might think on this later, after the service, having a coffee, maybe at home, wandering around, driving, wherever. Something I might like to experience differently. So then I'm going to invite you to think, what might be the thoughts and feelings you're having about a given circumstance in your life? And are those thoughts and feelings supporting something that you really don't want to be experiencing? And some of you have had lots of practice with this, I know. Perhaps there's anger, there's fear, resentment, frustration, anxiety, all of that going on. And they're going, how can I change it? Taking a moment, breathing. And how about identifying that one thought? Life sucks. This is the way it's going to be. I'm stuck with this. Why are they doing what they're doing? And they're just inviting you to think of a different way of thinking about it. I can change this. I shall change this. I am changing this. And I always think the first place for me to start is gratitude. Gratitude for something, whatever, even if it's totally unrelated to whatever your experience is. Just take a moment. Am I breathing? I am grateful. And happiness, you can take a moment. I love this. Hope, peace. There's apparently, I found online, 100 different positive feelings that you can have. And even though I've been introduced to this like 30 years ago, I'm still working on it. So I'll share a little bit about how how I proceed. First thing I go, what is it that I want to have happen in my life? What's the experience I want to have? Okay, decide what that is. And it doesn't have to be a thing, the new racing car. Maybe for Ronets going to the Formula One racing. I don't know. However, it could be, greater health, better relationships, more fulfilling work. Maybe, I think we all have something. Then once I figure out what that is, then I go, okay, so what are the thoughts and feelings I might be having that are contrary to this thing that I desire? Then I say, okay, what could I substitute? What new thought can I have? And I say this to you because I'm doing this right now. I'm doing my best to catch myself, to become aware. Every time those little monkey mind is a way to say it, the ego mind generating all these thoughts, and I go, oh, there it is again. And then I say, okay, different. How can I change this? And I do it. I do my best to do it, I guess. And then I go the feeling. Jackie Woodside, who did a workshop here, she was a guest speaker for Canada, Unity Canada Conference in Edmonton, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe something like that. I'm following her online because I've known Jackie for a long time. And she went through a really horrible time in her life where she suffered abusive relationship, and she was in depression, and she decided she couldn't live like that anymore, and she wanted to make a change. One of the things that she said she did was she created a little ditty. And she would say, even though she's in the midst of this horrible depression, she'd say, how did it go? I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am healed, I am whole. I am healthy, I am wealthy, I am healed, I am whole. And she'd say, and I am happy, healthy, healed, and whole. Yes, I am. And she would sing, and she would even clap. And every time she'd feel that overwhelming sense of, oh, I can't go on, she would do this. She goes, at the time, I didn't feel happy, I didn't feel healthy, I didn't feel wealthy, I didn't feel that I was healed, and I certainly didn't feel that I was whole. And eventually, she said, now I am all of that. I can honestly say this is how I feel right now. Now, I also know on Jackie's behalf that as spirit, she already was that. It just had to go from the within to being her outer experience. And so whatever might work for you to get you, on the move toward something even better, no matter how wonderful your lives are, even better. Anybody who doesn't want even better? Yeah, I know I do. Okay. So when we sang O Canada, we affirmed, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. And I'm inviting you to think, okay, I need to stand on guard. I need to stand on guard to make sure those old, unwanted, conditioned patterns of thought and associated feelings that are no longer serving my highest good, I won't let them rent space in my consciousness anymore. Stand on guard. Oh, there it is again. Okay, what else can I do? What else can I think? Oh, I am healthy, happy, wise, whatever works for you. And is this easy? In my experience, not always. So I found it takes constant effort. It takes discipline. It takes work. The good news is, for me at least, the more I've done it, the easier it gets. And in general, my life is better, feels better, goes more smoothly. The bumps in the road aren't as bumpy. They aren't as high. And as we affirm that there is within and all around us this higher power, source, divine mind, God, whatever you choose to call that one power and presence, that is our divine essence, the truth with a capital T, that is always there for us because it is our nature. It is there ready to come forth in new and wondrous ways. And that's the me. We can do this for ourselves. We can do this for our lives. So what about the politics and the world events and the horrific things we see on TV? If we're feeling dragged down, the hopelessness of it all, we can bring a new thought. We can bring a new feeling. We can think there is a peace that underlies all, every person, every situation. There is peace. There is love within each person, even if it seems to be buried beyond hope. There is love. And as we bring those thoughts and feelings to a situation, we lift not only ourselves, we lift the world. We lift our country. And that doesn't mean that there are facts of tragedies and atrocities and all the stuff in our past. We choose now to focus on the truth with a capital T. And as we begin by consciously choosing new thought patterns, new feelings, we are led to new actions. And as we do this, we create a better life for ourselves and a better Canada and a better world. Reverend Rona says, a rising tide lifts all boats. You, one person, if we are truly all one, the rising tide, you're part of it, lifting everyone that we are connected with. Now, before our meditation, getting ready to wrap this up, there's just a couple more quotes that I'd like to share. This is from May Rowland, and May was, she was the Silent Unity Director from 1916 to 1971. So she's a person who knows about prayer. And she says, in our unity of purpose, we seek ways to bring freedom, justice, and peace to people all over the world. We do it by starting with us, the me. And she also says in her book, Dare to Believe, in every nation of the earth, the seekers of the light are one. And you are one of those light seekers. Otherwise, I don't think you'd be here. Not only are you a light seeker, you are someone who's making a difference by your presence in your country and in the world by shining your light. You're not just a light seeker, you are the light. And I'm going to invite you now to prepare for a meditation so we can take these ideas a little deeper. And normally we'd have a little bit of music, so I'm just going to appreciate the quiet today. So whatever comfort, whatever you need to do to make yourself more comfortable, just feet on the floor, feeling the seat supporting you. Close your eyes if you like. You know that this is a safe place. Whatever works for you. And I invite you to begin by breathing in and out. Just follow the breath as it goes in and out. It is a flow, just like there is a flow of life. And as we enter into the awareness of this flow, just know that divine life is radiating throughout your body and all around. And with every breath in and out, I invite you to let these words that I speak be your words. I allow myself to feel a greater sense of relaxation. I let go of any areas in my body where there might be a little tension. Anything I notice, I just release and relax. And if there's any thoughts that I'm noticing demanding my attention, I just let them float on by, knowing that anything that is important can be dealt with at a later time. Breathing in and breathing out. My true essence is light. I am a radiant expression of Christ's light. I am light. My true essence is love. I am the attracting, unifying, and harmonizing energy of love in expression. I am an individualized expression of the one power and presence. I am presence. Within me is the power to make wise choices in every moment. I am power, ready to be used for good in my life and in the world. Every thought and every feeling that arises in the awareness of these truths now create a foundation from which I can live a happier, more fulfilling life and help to create a world of peace and love. As an expression of the one presence, I affirm, we are all one. There is only oneness. And I just take a moment, breathing in and breathing out. There is only oneness. And so it is. Amen. And whenever you're ready, I invite you to return your attention to this time and place.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us, that can't be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be unites us. Let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
From 10:30 to 11:15. We check in with each other, we enjoy a guided meditation, and we read the names of the people on our prayer list. To add a person to the prayer list, please fill in the prayer request slip found in your welcome packet with the person's first name and the first initial of their last name, and place it into the offering basket. You can also send us an email or submit a prayer request on our website or app. We will be taking a break from our Wisdom Wednesdays until the fall. Instead, here's what we're doing on Wednesday evenings in the summer. Beginning this Wednesday, join us for a weekly youth group for ages 14 and up. There will be snacks, games, music, and a fun and safe place to hang out and get to know each other. We'll meet between 7 and 9:30 p.m., and the evenings will be led by Reverend Rona. We're super excited about this, and we would love to have lots of people, so please invite the youth in your life to join us. On Sunday, July 14th at 11 a.m., Unity of New Westminster begins a magical metaphysical tour, a 5-week Sunday morning series on the wisdom of songs by the Beatles. The songs of John, Paul, George, and Ringo are beloved, beautiful, and brimming with wisdom. They can inspire us with ideas about how to add more calm, connection, and contentment to our lives. Each Sunday will include a spotlight on one of the Fab Four, an inspirational lesson inspired by the songs of the Beatles, and live performances of the Beatles songs that we can sing along to. Our musician for the 5 weeks will be Peter Williams, who we enjoyed so much when he entertained us during our Valentine's volunteer celebration. Plan to join us for this exciting and uplifting series. Today is the last Sunday of the month, and we usually have a potluck and celebrate the month's birthdays. But because this is a long weekend, we'll have a potluck and celebrate birthdays next week, July 7th. But we always have coffee and snacks after service, so please plan to stay after today's program.
And I'll just let you know that we're grateful for your gifts, which support our ministry. And many of us contribute with pre-authorized payments. So if you're not placing anything into the contribution basket today, please bless it silently as it comes along to you. Then pass the basket along. And for online viewers, you'll find a donation link in the description of the recording. And please like and subscribe to our channel so that we can reach more people. As we sing our blessing song, I invite you to bring to mind, there's a power of your thoughts linked with your feeling, something you're grateful for. You are so blessed.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I am. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so
it's now my pleasure just to say thank you to everybody. First of all, Reverend Rona, thank you for inviting me back. And yeah, it's honor and a privilege. Thank you. And thanks to everyone for being here today. Thank you for anybody who's joined us online. And again, please subscribe to our channel and like today's recording. And thanks to our tech team, always appreciated. And our greeters, our prayer team, all who contribute and uplift our community. Yay! And please remember, even though we're not having potluck today, join us for coffee and fellowship after the service. And have a meaningful Canada Day, whatever that means for you. And I invite you, yay, yay! And now I invite you to join. I think we can try and make a circle here and sing along with our video.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
We're not done.
I am the
Light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power of God, we are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
There we go. There. I gotta get this. I gotta get this mic off. I'm still mic'd. Thank you. Whoop.